Maybe the doctor-patient paradigm has shifted a little bit using technology, but I want to close my general thoughts about that, giving some of the examples that we actually experienced here in Israel. And it's not exactly about telemedicine, but it's about receiving and providing medical information through the media and through the Facebook and other social media as a part of how we consume data and share data, including professional data nowadays. And the example is of the anti-vaccination and pro-vaccination debate in the US, around the world, and also in Israel. So as you might have heard, just a few days ago, there was a big research done by the George Washington University looking at different tweets that related to vaccinations. From one research institute, half of the tweets were supporting vaccinations, the other half was against vaccinations, and they were wondering how could it be that the same kind of body both supports and opposes it. And they reached the conclusion that many of those tweets were actually done by a robot that had a role in steering debate, but not necessarily reflecting any meaningful evidence-based opinion of one doctor or another. So the social media might be biased or might be used for different reasons, not necessarily for spreading medical information in the best interest of the people. And if we look at the debate in Israel, there are two main groups of anti-vaccinations and pro-vaccinations on the internet with dozens of thousands of followers. And the debates become very, very strong. The wording becomes very strong, and they are blaming one another. And one doctor decided to look at the kind of claims of the anti-vaccination group and deal with them one by one, explain why, to his best medical opinion, they're wrong and they're risking lives. And they have started to fight back and send complaints against this doctor to the Israeli Medical Association. And it's very interesting as we use the freedom of speech and the freedom of the market of ideas to discuss those matters. One interesting case that I was asked to be involved with as a practicing lawyer this time related to an anti-vaccination person, leader of a group, that some doctors wrote on Facebook that his claims are wrong, that he's a charlatan, and basically his recommendations are against anything that is recommended either in the US or in Micronesia, which is a small country. And they came to us because he sued them. The anti-vaccination person basically submitted a lawsuit against the doctors saying that they are shaming him on the internet. And when we came to court, the judge basically looked at the evidence that we provided an expert opinion, and he asked the claimant, do you have an expert opinion to support your anti-vaccination claims? And he said, well, I don't. And he asked him, the judge asked him, well, would you still want to pursue your case? Because if the court looks at the evidence and decides that you're wrong, everything that you're working for will be completely, maybe, ruined. And it took the man about a month to decide to delete his case. So this is just one example of how the internet-based debate, discussion, and consumption of information and sharing of information, and the role that some doctors decided that they are going to take upon them to educate the people about medical information using social media as well, and not just one-on-one personal or telemedicine-based interactions, leads to legal actions as well. So to sum up, as this is a very wide topic, I would like to say that we're just beginning. There are so many exciting technologies that are introduced daily into our lives in general and into the medical treatment as well. And there are many, many more ethical and legal challenges that I expect that we will need to face and discuss and kind of get agreements and guidelines about in the near future. I believe that as long as we remember that healthcare provision and doctor-patient communication is also about the human element, and it must contain compassion and caring. it really does not matter what kind of methods we're going to use. We'll do it well, and we'll use well the technology instead of misusing it or wasting it. Thank you very much.